Hello, my name is Oliver and I am 19 years old and I have Asperger Syndrome. And in today's video we're going to talk about my Asperger Syndrome and how it affects me on a day-to-day basis.
Everyone, we go better on my own.
So on my mobile telephone right here I have a list of common signs and symptoms, characteristics of the Asperger Syndrome, and everyone on the spectrum is different. So I'm going to go through the list and I'm going to discuss what I do and don't have, because everybody on the spectrum is different. And with the first one being on the list is problems making and or maintaining friendships. And you know what, I do agree. Over the past few years I have struggled to maintain friends, and over my whole lifetime I struggle making friends. However, with me struggling talking to strangers sometimes, making friends can be hard. So I'm very close with the ones I've got and I'm very happy with the ones I've got. Isolation or minimal interaction in social situations, and yes, this is me, just written all over. Social situations, I do struggle, and there have been times I have walked away from social situations. However, I've been trying my hardest to beat that. I've been trying to get out there more, seek discomfort, and isolation is really bad and I do suffer with it. You know, I feel always alone even when surrounded by people, and that can be killing. Another one on the list is poor eye contact or the tendency to stare at others. And I'm not a stare at other people person. However, I can't maintain eye contact. I struggle looking someone dead in the eyes. It's not like I'm like, I can't look you in the eyes because I'm lying. I physically struggle locking eye contact. I'm looking at myself right now and I'm struggling keeping eye contact even with myself, and that's a video. I've never really been able to do eye contact. It's really hard to explain why I can't. And sometimes I can, don't get me wrong. I'm trying to be better at everything that I've got. I'm trying to advance myself, and I'm not using Asperger's as a disability. I'm using it as an advantage in my life. Trouble interpreting gestures, and that kind of goes on with the next one on the list. Inability to recognise humour, irony or sarcasm. And I've lost friendships over sarcasm. I don't do sarcasm. If I'm trying to be sarcastic, it ends up not being violent, but it ends up seeming something a lot worse than it was. And I'm like, I'm trying to be sarcastic. And people are like, yeah, that's not sarcasm. So, yeah, I do struggle with sarcasm. I struggle with gestures and understanding gestures. Irony is a difficult one, and humour, I have a great sense of humour, and a lot of people with Asperger's do have a great sense of humour, but very little people understand it. But then again, everyone can be laughing in the room at a joke, and I don't understand, and that's common. Inappropriate behaviours or odd mannerism. I don't have inappropriate behaviours and odd mannerisms. I might have the odd quirk, but I mean, who doesn't these days? Problems expressing empathy, controlling emotions, or communicating feelings. I have a heart of stone, but humans have feelings, and I have feelings. I've always been someone to bottle them up and boom, they just go. I got told by my teacher in school, she said, can you feel sympathy or empathy? I hadn't been diagnosed with Asperger's. I remember sitting in English class, and she was just like, we were doing this thing, we were revising for the exams, and I was like, I don't understand. She's like, can you put yourself in the person's shoes? And I said, I can't. And she was like, you can't feel sympathy or empathy, can you? And I went, I don't know. I've never really experienced it at that point. I've experienced the death of my nan, and that's about it. I've come to learn that I have emotions which are annoying, and I don't show off my emotions as much as I should, and a lot of people point that out. However, I can't really understand sympathy or empathy. I try to be sympathetic for people, and I'm trying my best to grasp it a bit more. However, I can't put myself in your shoes, and even if I've been through that situation, I struggle. Lack of common sense. You guys have seen my YouTube channel, right? Need I say more? Tendency to talk to yourself. I talk to myself, yes. My brothers who have autism, they talk to themselves. I know lots of people who talk to themselves, so I don't see that as an issue. It's a coping mechanism for loneliness to stop depression developing. Fascination with certain topics, and yeah, I have an amazing fascination with certain topics. In 2014, in 2014 I had an obsession over computers. I can build a computer, and then when I started driving it was over an engine, so I can kind of do an engine and I can kind of do a PC. It's just like things putting together, but recently it's not just things putting together, it kind of actually is things putting together, thinking about it. It's family history, genealogy. Absolutely love genealogy. Been fascinated with genealogy for years now. I like to know where everybody fits in my family tree. I want to know how you're related. If you're related to me, you're family. If I know how you fit in the tree, you're family. I love genealogy. I love knowing the history of my family. There's so much history in my family, stretching over 3 different continents just in like 4 generations. There's some royal family history in there, as well as farmers, fishing fleets, Sheriff of London. We've got a lot in my family, and it's always interesting to know where things fit in. And I just love family history. I've done the 23andMe DNA test. I really want to do an ancestry DNA test, and I just love it. Interpreting information as literal, and yeah, not like I'll go jump off a cliff and I'll go do it. Well, it's a difficult situation. Yeah, I'm not going to go off and kill myself. However, people have told me to. I'm not going to be like, do you know what? Let's just do it. No, that's not me. However, interpreting some information as literal has literally happened. So, something I struggle with, something I'm developing to get better at. Preference for a strict schedule or routine, and that's got my little brother Caden written all over. Has to be to a schedule, has to be to routine. If you say this time, it has to be this time. I understand that very well. My brothers have autism, so I understand a lot of these very well, even if I can't experience them myself. And strict routines, I'm not a routine person. That is a difficulty that I've grown up with, trying to understand that. However, I do understand it now, and we love him. Language and speech issues also comes on the list here, and there's a few pointers on this website on everydayhealth.com. First one being a scripted, formal, or robotic type of speaking. I have a formal accent, I have an easy-to-understand voice, although when I moved up north for a bit, they didn't understand my accent, which was interesting because my voice is very, yes, robotic, I guess, and I can't really help that. Repetitive speech is also a point on this list, and yeah, I know I have repetitive speech. Even just recording the repetitive speech section, this is probably the 4th or 5th time I've recorded it. So I know I have repetitive speech, and I guess that's to do with my memory, as in, I don't have a goldfish memory. My memory's not bad, my memory's actually the complete opposite. I remember a lot. My memory is absolutely amazing. And that's difficult because people forget things, and I don't understand how people forget things. It's like a birthday, right? How can you forget someone's birthday? I don't understand that. I can tell you the birthday of someone I sat next to in PHSE in year 8. I can tell you their birthday. They wouldn't be able to tell you my birthday. I remember things like that, and that goes on with repetitive speech because I repeat myself so people remember. I'm trying to help people remember, but I'm not helping people remember, am I? No. So, yeah. Trouble using language in social contexts. I don't really understand that one. I'll be honest, I don't understand the question. Loud or high-pitched speech. Loud and high-pitched is just my brother written all over. As well on the list, there is cognitive behaviours, and actually the first one is a superior root memory. Seriously, it's right there. Yes, it's true. My memory, as I just spoke about, is I don't know how to explain it. I just remember. And yeah. Ability to understand technical or factual information. I'm trying to understand that question, to be honest. Understanding technical factual information, I guess if you think about it in computer type, yes, I can understand factual information pretty well. Trouble absorbing abstract information. I'm still trying to understand that question in itself. I've always been like this. I don't understand it unless I do it. I have to do something physical to understand it. And that's one reason why I can do computers, because I understand it because I do it. However, in school, if the teacher was doing an experiment, if I'm not doing it, I don't understand. Or if we're just writing it down, copying from a textbook, I don't understand. I don't remember things like that. Tendency to focus on details which may result in missing the bigger picture. Even just me talking in this video, you're missing the bigger picture. I'm kind of I'll think of it as the London Underground. Going in zone 6, you're going around it. You're not getting to zone 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1. I struggle even talking about my own Aspergers, and that's difficult. Physical details, delay in motor skills, and as far as I'm aware, growing up I was never delayed in motor skills. Awkward movements, I don't really have any awkward movements, apart from when my toe swells up. Sensitivity to loud noises, odours, clothing, or food textures. Food textures I don't understand. Like, my brothers don't like banana or raisins. I love banana and raisins. That's something, I assume that's something to do with the texture. Food textures, no. Sensitivity to loud noises. I can sit next to a speaker, but it doesn't mean I like it, and I virtually block it out. Odours, everyone's susceptible to odours, and sometimes even clothing patterns, and I'm not really clothing patterns, like, look at the stuff I wear, for goodness sake. And loud noises, just everyone is some sort of susceptible to some sort of loud noise. Common diagnoses that go along with Asperger syndrome. The first one being depression. I have a diagnosis of depression. The second one being anxiety. I have a diagnosis of anxiety. The third one being attention deflex hyperactivity disorder, also known as ADHD. I've never been diagnosed with ADHD, but my brothers have it. Tourette syndrome, as far as I'm aware, I don't have Tourette syndrome. And the fifth one on the list is epilepsy, and my great uncles have epilepsy, so we have that some sort of thing in the family. And that's also a question from me to you. Is autism and is Asperger syndrome, is it genetic? Because some people say no, however, me and my sibling group have it. Asperger sometimes come with special talents, and this is the thing that I focus on, and I try and keep everything else. I try and make it. I want my unique differences to stand out, and I want to become superior, I guess. First one being a high IQ. I have a high IQ. The ability to focus on something intensely, as I've spoken about genealogy. I can tell you everything about genealogy. I can tell you the kind of relations between different people. I can tell you how I'm related to some people. I can tell you what is the correct layman's term to call your parents' first cousin. A remarkable memory, again, yes, I use that to my advantage sometimes. A unique sense of humour, I spoke about this earlier in the video, sense of humour that I understand. Sometimes I can get other people to understand it, but it's really hard sometimes. A high esteem for fairness and honesty. Growing up, I was a liar, I'll be honest. I think every child lied though. However, as I've gotten older, I've become more truthful and honesty. A high self-esteem for fairness, yeah, I agree with fairness 100%. And it really kills me when you don't. It's like, me and my brother did a market stall a year ago, one of the market stalls we did, and we split the money down and we had like a 5p left, so we were splitting that 5p. No, he wasn't going to have the 5p, I wasn't going to have the 5p, it was going to be 2p.5 each. Yeah, that's how my brain works, and even he was agreeing with this. So, even in the words of my uncle, don't fight over 5p. However, that's something we did. Asperger's is not one size that fits all. When you watch TV, you can see Asperger's depicted in different ways, where people have different actions. Some people hit themselves, as well as some people can't understand. I'm different. As it says, one size doesn't fit all, so I am different to everyone else. My Asperger syndrome can be hidden better than other people's. I can understand social situations. I'm able to drive where some people won't be able to drive because of their cognitivity. And that's one thing I've got. I've got a stut, which I try my best to hide, but I trip over words quite a lot, and I always edit it out of videos. Overall, Asperger syndrome is unique. Asperger syndrome with me is unique. My differences make me stand out. And I don't want you guys to be like, oh, he's disabled. Because yes, don't get me wrong, I am theoretically labelled, but I don't want the label to make me be affected as a person. Sure, there are some situations I can't stand, and even growing up, there are now some things that I could do when I was younger that I can't do now. However, I'm not letting Asperger's affect me, and that's why I wanted to make this video. I wanted people to understand Asperger syndrome from my perspective a little more. So thank you guys for watching this video, and if you guys would like a more in-depth video, because I know I kind of skimmed around a lot of the details, then please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a like and share it to someone who could have Asperger's, or could be on the spectrum, or know someone on the spectrum, a friend or family member. So I'll be grateful for all of that, and if you can, hit the subscribe button and don't forget the bell notification. And yes, thank you guys for watching this video, and I shall see you guys all in my next video. Adios, my Miss Amigos.
Chill out, what you yelling for? Lay back, it's all been done before. And if you could only let it be, you will see I like you the way you are. When we're driving in your car and you're talking to me one-on-one, but you become somebody else, grab everyone else, you're watching your back like you can't relax.